Alright guys, I'm back with a review of the new Bosto Kingtee 22 HD. I finally got it up and running and calibrated and all the drivers and everything installed. Really wasn't that hard of a thing to do. The drivers were just pretty simple. There's pretty much just two tabs, one for calibrate, to choose which screen that you want your tablet PC to be active on. And then obviously sensitivity for the pen. Haven't had a whole lot of time to play around with it, but I do like what I've seen so far with just my kind of dabbles on here. I apologize. There's no real easy way to film this. I'm gonna try and get you as close as I can to the screen to see the strokes. But beforehand, I just want to apologize because my camera, every time my hand comes into the picture, it keeps trying to autofocus. But at least you'll be able to see, when I'm done with my stroke, the different pressure sensitivities on there. For the new pen, it's batteryless. You don't need to charge it. It's some sort of new technology that Bosto has. I guess it's proprietary, as well as the actual. The digitizer itself, it's not any of the monoprice or anything like that. Digitizers. Apparently this digitizer that's in all of the Bostos are proprietary to Bosto themselves. So this is their own brand. One thing that I did notice is that there is a little bit of a gap between the top of the plastic cover and the actual digitizer. So when you're drawing on the digitizer or on the screen itself, there's a little bit of a gap between where you see your pen hit the surface and the actual screen. But that's pretty much with any tablet screen. There's always going to be a little bit of adjustment that you need to get used to. But it is pretty nice. I did come across a couple of flaws. You can't really see it, but right here where the screen hits the outside of the border, I did get a little bit of bulging or separation from the screen to the plastic housing right here. I think that's mainly just because of the way the weight is hit on the stands. It's not really that big of a deal, but for that price, I would have hoped that they would have gone through QC, or I'm sorry, quality assurance. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid machine. I did play with some of the different programs. I don't have all the programs. I have, you see here, Sketchbook Pro. This is my main program that I play around on. I do have Paint Tool Sci. I went ahead and put on here just so that you can kind of see it. I don't really use that program. And then I also have Manga Studio. But you can see, just kind of playing around on it, tapping on the screen itself is pretty responsive. Once you get it calibrated, it's pretty pinpoint. I don't know if you can. Let's see. I apologize. I'm looking at my camera screen to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing on the screen, but you can see pretty much that the calibration is pretty much spot on. I haven't had any delay or lag of any type. Obviously, that's going to depend on your computer and the specs of that. And I know one of the other guys that got the tablet early on. He said he had some lag on the side of the screen. I haven't encountered any of that. But really, I haven't had any issues with this whatsoever. Like I said, except for some of the physical flaws, I would hope. I don't think that's really a big deal because it's just the housing on the outside. But I guess time will tell. I know these come with a 12-month warranty, so if anything really bad happens to it, I'll be sure to let you guys know, and I'm sure they'll be pretty lenient on replacing it. But this is Sketchbook Pro. Again, I apologize. You can, just from the scratches that I put on there on the canvas, you can kind of see the pressure sensitivity on there. I think this is the same digitizer that comes in the 19 inches. It's obviously bigger. But it's got 2048 levels of sensitivity on it, just like the 19 inches. And let's see here. Again, I apologize. I'm trying to calibrate or go between two different screens, but you can see that I can go really light. Like, you can barely see it on the camera, and then obviously the harder I press, it's the sensitivity is just awesome. And don't pay any mind to the there's no jitter in the lines or anything like that. That's just my unsteady hands. But I haven't had any lag either as far as the pen keeping up. You can see a little bit better the pressure sensitivity. But I mean, there's really no lag at all. I mean, I've desperately tried to get this thing to lag out, and you know, I have 16 gigs of RAM, and I've got a overclocked processor and everything, so you know, my computer is pretty fast. So assuming that you have the right hardware for it, I mean, it's awesome. I don't know how else to describe it. From playing around with the pressure sensitivity. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. The programs that I know that work with the pressure sensitivity so far are the three that I listed out before. This one obviously works. Manga Studio 5 EX that I have, that one supports the pressure sensitivity out of the box. I didn't really have to calibrate anything. And Paint Tool Sci. The only problem that I ran into is with the eraser, which I'll show you guys here. Out of the box, you don't really have to mess around with it. But you got this, you know, the pen, and you got the eraser on the edge. It pretty much just works right out of the box in this program. Also in Manga Studio, I didn't have to do any settings or anything like that. And obviously, you know, with the different programs, you can change the eraser size on it. But just to kind of show you, it doesn't really have any issues. I don't have any lags with the eraser either. So it's pretty solid. Back to what I was saying, the only issue that I ran into so far with the compatibility issues is with Paint Tool Sci. When you here, let me just show you. When you switch from pen to hold on a second. I apologize. Got three screens going on here. Stuff's popping up everywhere. The issue that I had with Paint Tool Sci is when you flip the eraser, it doesn't work. I don't know if there's a way to make the setting so that when you flip the pen over for the eraser, that it works automatically. But the sensitivity works really good inside. But when you flip the eraser, it doesn't work right out of the box like the other two programs do. It defaults to the selection tool. So that's the only issue that I've had with it so far. But other than that, the sensitivity does work with Paint Tool Sci. I know a lot of people use Corel. I don't have Corel, so obviously you're going to have to go through your other sources to find out, you know, if that works with this tablet or not. But overall, it's a pretty solid tablet. I know a lot of people are asking about the distortion when you change it. you can kind of see as I change the elevation just from where you're at, you don't really have much of a distortion. It's not like a laptop screen where, you know, when you tilt it back or forward you lose color and visibility. Obviously that's the reason why they put the IPS displays in here. But you can pretty much look at it from a very low angle and pretty much still see everything. There is a little bit of a glare on it. That's pretty much the only visibility flaws that you have on there as far as incline and decline. Where's that switch at? But yeah, I mean, other than that, everything works out great. It's a beautiful machine. Again, the one thing that I don't like about it, and that's more of a pet peeve, is that all your inputs are coming out the left side. That might be a little bit bothersome when you put it on a you know, an LCD arm and you're trying to rotate the screen. I don't really see that being too much of an issue. I'm just saying, just from where the inputs come out of the monitor in the back of the monitor, that might be an issue. But looking forward to playing around with this a little bit more. It's definitely worth the money, I think, anyways, in my opinion, compared to the Wacom stuff. I'd love to have a Wacom, but I just don't have that type of cash. And I would say this is the next best thing. So if you have any questions, just feel free to leave me a you know, a message inside their Facebook page or whatever. And yeah, just let me know.